guys, this is Duke Doom ASMR, and this will be another top video game video for you guys. This time we have come to Xbox One, and no, I don't mean Xbox One, I mean the first Xbox that came out. It was a revolutionary, for me at least, graphically console which beat the PlayStation 2 pretty bad graphic wise, and it had some really cool games. But I have chosen a couple that I really love. As with all of these videos, there will be games I forgot, games I don't have. I will mention a couple that I have sold perhaps, but I am focusing on these that I have in my collection and that I currently play from time to time still. So without further ado, let's start this. The first game is a shoot 'em up by Sega. Unfortunately, I don't have a box for this. I'm going to buy boxes. This is Panzer Dragoon Orta. It's a on-rail shooter where you control a dragon. And you fly through these gorgeous worlds and you shoot everything that moves. It's kind of like a bullet hell game, but with dragons and fantasy worlds, and you level up kind of, and the dragon evolves to different forms. And if you find this game, please give it a try. If you like fantasy and you like beautiful graphics, it's a really cool game. I played so much of this. Unfortunately, as you see, the box broke, but the disc is perfectly mint condition. I need to really get a box for this. So that's the first one I wanted to recommend. It's Panzer Dragoon Orta. Second one is a role-playing game that I don't think need much introduction. It's Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic from BioWare. And if you played Mass Effect, it's basically Mass Effect in Star Wars, or you can turn it around because Mass Effect is younger than this, so Mass Effect is basically Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. You have to find your backstory because you have lost your memory and you're a powerful Jedi, and you go on epic quests with your ship, the Ebonhawk, which looks a little bit like Millennium Falcon, and you build a party of people that you can talk to and you can have, like intimate relationships with and stuff like that, kind of. And also you have good and bad points, and the more bad you are, the more to the dark side you go, the more your face changes and you get yellow eyes and veins and look like a Sith. This game is an absolute blast to play. It is a little bit like menu based fighting, but it's very much like Knights of the Old Republic. Mass Effect. You can see you get an own Wookiee, and there are lightsaber duels. You can build your own lightsaber, which color, or if you want to double blade. There's so much to do in these games. And of course there is Knights of the Old Republic Part 2, but I only chose one game from the series, and this is it. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Next one is a personal favorite of mine. I don't know if many people like this game, but it is Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds. And this is the second game that came out on the Xbox in the Buffy series. The first one was pretty good, but it was a little bit, I don't know, unpolished. This one is much better, and you can play like all of these characters: Spike, Willow, Buffy, Faith, and Xander. And you have to slay vampires, and there's a story, and it's fun. These days maybe the graphics isn't so hot, but I like this game. I'm a fan of the Buffyverse and the Buffy series, so if you want a little bit of Buffy in your life, then pick this up. You can get this so cheap now. Next one is a role-playing game that doesn't need any explanation either. It's Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3. And I don't know if I have to say anything about this really. If you're a gamer and you like role-playing games, you must have heard about the Elder Scrolls Morrowind. It's by far the best in the Elder Scrolls series, if you ask me. You play as a nameless prisoner who arrives at Morrowind, and you have to defeat the evil Dagoth Ur, I think his name is. And there's so much to do. There's so much things to collect. So many armors, so many weapons, so many enemies to slay. You also get a map. As you usually get with these Elder Scrolls games. And it's a huge world to explore. But I'm going to say this. If you like me, or an Elder Scrolls fan, you will get a pretty different experience compared to Skyrim and Oblivion. For example, the enemies doesn't scale with you or level up with you. If you go outside the first town that you arrive and you go a little bit too far, they will kill you instantly. It's also very easy to catch diseases, and it's it's a PC role-playing game, and in some ways it feels like a PC game. It doesn't have that fast console fighting system. You can basically stand and hack on an enemy for like 3 minutes, and it doesn't hit because it's or the hits doesn't connect because it's like very based on rules and weaknesses and so forth. So you will have a hard time if you think it's like Skyrim or Oblivion and you just run out into the world and trying to be cool. But if you want a challenging game, which is awesome, like, let me just tell you a little bit, like, if you're going to equip your character, you can like equip gloves, bracelets, you can sweaters, robes over your armor. It's so much more things to do than in Skyrim and Oblivion, and so many more varieties on armor and swords and spears. And alright, it looks a little bit dated now, but that really doesn't matter. It has a special kind of charm. If you play not Shivering Isles, the Dragonborn, I think it was called, right? Quest in DLC on Skyrim, you get a little feel for the world of Morrowind, big mushrooms and the steel riders and stuff like that. And the music is so good. I'm sorry, but this game I think has the best score in an Elder Scrolls game. Enough talk about that. Next one is a game I haven't finished, but I love the atmosphere and I love the story and I love the characters, and it's Call of Cthulhu. 2K Games, Bethesda Software. It's an adventure horror game, but it is very tough puzzle-wise. I remember I got caught on a puzzle where you're supposed to open a safe, and I couldn't find a combination for the safe anywhere until I looked it up on the internet. I guess it was written down somewhere and I missed it, but things like that kind of drags down the grade a little bit. But it's really, really cool. There's mutant monsters and this eerie feeling of this old town, you know, where everything is downgraded and filthy, and you play this private detective. It also have an underline title or an undertitle, The Dark Corners of the Earth. So it's a little bit hard to make out. Well, it's a great game. I'm going to finish it. All these games that I show you here plays on the Xbox 360. I don't know if they play on Xbox One, but they play on Xbox 360. Alright, and we have another role-playing game from BioWare, and this is Jade Empire, which is set in... I don't really remember. I love this game, but I don't remember if it's set in kind of like old... If it's set in old China or stuff like that, or if it's a fantasy world. I don't remember, actually. I think it's kind of like a Asian-inspired fantasy world, if I remember correctly. But you learn different martial art combats, and you level up. It's a role play. You go around, talk to people, and it's gorgeous. It's BioWare, and I think you kind of like know what you get when you buy a BioWare game. And I actually have this. There was a fortune cookie within the game. I don't remember if I ate it or whatever I did. Maybe it broke and just fell out. But it actually was a fortune cookie within it. And it's a cool game. You know, you got... a lot of fighting and strategy, and it's an epic martial arts adventure, as it says on the box. And I think it was a little bit underrated. I think I would love personally to see not a remake or remaster, but a sequel to this game. Actually, I would love to have that, because I enjoyed this game. It was great. And by now I think you know that I'm a role-playing guy, so I think the next one isn't a total surprise that it's a role-playing game. This is the Bard's Tale from In Exile, I think the company's name was. I don't really know if they exist anymore. This is a comedy role-playing game seen from top down. You control the bard, who is voiced by Carrie Elves, and this game is hilarious. It's so funny. It's a narrator who tells the story, and he often, argues with the bard. No, that's not how it went. And there's also these little gnomes that turns up now and again to sing a merry song about the chosen one. You can download the soundtrack for free and legal on In Exile's site, I think. I have done it, and there are some great tunes like Beer, 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 and it's just awesome, and it's fun to play. You level up. I don't need to tell you this, and you get these spirits that help you. Some you can choose between them and summon them, like a big spider or someone that heals you or a knight. It's a cool game and it's funny. You know, some games try to be funny but doesn't succeed. This one actually succeeds in being both funny and fun to play. So, The Bard's Tale, and this is the third, I think, in a series. I don't remember if it was PC games or like Commodore 64 or something like that, but I recommend this. Okay, I have 2 games left. The first one is a Doom, Resurrection of Evil, Doom 3. And there really isn't much to say about this. You move around on a space station who has opened portals to hell, and you kill monsters with everything from BFGs, which is big beep gun, and shotguns and chainsaws. And if you play Doom, you know what to expect. Now, these remakes of Doom isn't as fast-paced, or, you know, in the old Doom, monsters were coming at you in hordes. These are more sparsely placed throughout the levels. They kind of like attack and scare you, but it's a cool game, and for the time, and I think actually the graphics holds up even today. You could play this online, I remember, but I don't think anyone plays it anymore. I don't even know if it's possible. But as a single player adventure game or horror game, I recommend this, and of course the original Doom 3. Alright, last game, and this is groovy. This is Evil Dead Regeneration. And it is kind of like, I don't know, since we have Ash versus the Evil Dead, I think this could be set in a different timeline. Ash ends up in a mental institution after the events of Evil Dead 2. And he's blamed for the killings, but the evil doctor in the asylum has the Necronomicon and unleashes the Deadites on the world, and Ash escapes. And with him he has this little dwarf guy who is a Deadite, but he's a good Deadite because he has his soul intact. And he's played by Sam Raimi's brother, Ted Raimi. And he can be used, like, because he's dead, he can be used to throw him at enemies, into fans, so he just shreds into little pieces, and he complains, and it's hilarious. And of course, Bruce Campbell is the voice of Ash. I think this is the best Evil Dead game out there. And I really recommend, if you're an Evil Dead fan, that you pick this one up, because it's lots of fun, and you can upgrade every weapon, like the chainsaw, into a flamethrower and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool. I love this game. Now for some honorable mentions. I played a role-playing game called Arx Fatalis, which is kind of like a mix of Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls series and Dark Souls. You're in a cave most of the time. I think the world has been destroyed, and you're in underground, and you have to fight orcs and gnomes and stuff like that. And it's a really nice role-playing game. It's a little ugly and clunky, but Arx Fatalis is a great game. There's another game that I have never finished. I have used cheat codes because it's rock hard, and it's unfairly hard. It's not like Dark Souls. This one is really, you can get shot dead by someone you don't see. It's Enclave. It's a Swedish game by Starbreeze Studios, who also made Chronicles of Riddick. By the way, that's another game that I really recommend, Chronicles of Riddick. I have that on the Xbox 360, the upgraded version, so I didn't take it here. But if you want to buy it on the Xbox original, it's awesome. Anyway, Enclave is a role-playing game, hack and slash, and it's hard as hell. And I use codes to cheat my way through it, and I still think I didn't manage to do it even with cheat codes, because you fall down into. But it's very beautiful, and it's had an atmosphere to die for. And one of the fun things is you meet the gnomes, or I don't know if they're little trolls, but they are short, and they actually talk Swedish. And just for that reason, I love the game, because you could like hit them and they talked Swedish. Yeah, there are so many games on Xbox, the old Xbox, that I would love to recommend. I could easily talk for a couple of hours about games like the Star Wars, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy games, Star Wars Republic Commando. There are the Battlefront games. There are it's a lot of good games on the old Xbox, but for now, these are the ones that I would like to recommend. Say cheese for the screenshot. Cheese. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you got an opportunity, please pick some of these games up. You will have a blast. Alright guys, I love you. There can't be any light without darkness, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.